Okay.
So like I train the business people on, or the creative people on how they can earn money or make money through their talents.
Kuna jamaa kwa masikio yangu ananiambia utupatie covers kamoja ka spoken word yako.
Haina shida.
Twende kazi.
Just a short one,
Yes,
because it's been long since I do.
Yeah, like 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Okay. Walinita wisdom cause only kwa Christ ndo lipata freedom. Hizo mimba za dhambi bado nazifanyia abortion. Palimetoka mpaka palimefika ni God finger ndi move around hata bad spirits kinipinga. God ukiniita nitaitika kama Yona stapiga kona nitafika cause you're the way, the truth and the life. Without you Christ life iko tight.
Hey, okay. Makofi. Good stuff, good stuff. Pia mimi hufanya spoken word lakini kwa bedroom yangu pekee. Let's take a look at our question of the day, guys. Remember, we were asking you to engage with us in regards to our topic for today. As a youth living in Kenya, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your lifestyle? Imekuwa affect kivipi? Hebu tuangalie katika WhatsApp what guys are saying. Congrats Kizito for your views concerning vijana. I am Dixon, youth officer at Kenya Red Cross in Isiolo as well. Nice Kizito, umepata your county mate. Hello Opanga Kevin from Kisii town. It's like me. This pandemic has changed everything completely because I lost my job and started farming of beans and passion fruits. Now I'm earning more than the job I depended on. Guys, as youth, go for what is best for you. Don't depend on someone. Good stuff, Kevin. Tuangalia kamoja tukiadaga. Drawing Dreams initiative in Laikipia is glad to be working with global platform by ActionAid with life skills empowerment and 21st century foundation skills for young people to ensure that they are set for the market. All hope is not lost despite the challenges. Grace Wanene. Thank you, Grace. Susan, not Susan, but Mr. Tyson, let me get back to you. Do you feel that maybe we are over-depending on government? We're over-depending on NGOs? Not that I want to render you guys jobless, but I'm just saying, if you wake up in the morning, you just need to decide mimi niko na skill gani. Huwezi kosa skill, si ndio? Ni lazima uende kwa government useme wase ni aje nipate ni job au sijui ni provide. Kuna haja kweli?
Not really. And I don't think we are over depending on the government.
Okay.
We are just asking the government as the guys who have been given mandate by us to create an enabling environment where I can be able to showcase my skill, where I can be able to exploit my potential, and where I can be able to earn a decent living. I don't think that's too much to ask from the government that we pay tax every day. So I think if there is an enabling environment for young people, they'll not really be writing books of lamentation about having challenges of earning an income.
Yes.
So what the young people in the country are just asking is to get an environment where they can be able to innovate, where they can be able to put their ideas into practice. That's all what they're asking.
We're asking the government.
Yeah.
Susan, then if we are going to blame the government, can we go back to our education system kidogo and probably just say that we were never taught the right life skills? I'm sure you've seen jokes on social media, people saying ati mimi sijui mali Pythagoras theorem imenisaidia kwa life. Bodmas, mimi sioni mali imeingilia, mimi ni farmer ama mimi ni msanii, sioni mali nilisaidika na hizo vitu zote nilikuwa nafunza sijui calculus and what. Do you think that perhaps then our education system, I don't know how the CBC will fare because we need to give it time and see how it will perform, but do you think that maybe 844 and probably other systems that were there hazikutusaidia because we came out with our Form 4 certificates, some of us even with our university degrees, and we're just here lamenting?
Do I speak Swahili?
Sure, why not?
Siwezi sema hazikutusaidia na siwezi sema zilikuwa mbaya. But the point is how much of grounding is normally done when an education system is changing. And grounding therefore means that you put up infrastructure. So when we went 844, what other infrastructure did we put in place to receive the students who would be coming out of 844? There are those who stop at class 8. There are those who stop in between Form 1 to Form 4, but we are encouraging transition. A good education system should encourage transition. But should that happen, how did we prepare the receiving end that a class 8 has completed, how are the village polytechnics working? Because that is where talent can also be grown. Were they in existence? How was TVET grounded?
Yes.
How is it grounded today? Those are the areas that need to be looked into. So we are talking CBC. We have the first lot now in grade 5.
Yeah,
grade 5. We have a number of years. You may think they are many, but they are not. What will happen? How are they going to transit? And I know there are a lot of processes that the government has put in place to ensure that there is infrastructure, there are institutions that would be receiving them. Now, can all these systems speak to each other? And that is why we still go back to the government.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the duty bearers.
We are living in a country where the best performing student in a particular county is unable to join the best school in the country or even in that particular county because they cannot afford uniform, books. They can't even afford bus fare to that particular institution.
Yes.
So now, where is the problem? Because mzazi amefanya kazi yake, amemsomesha, amemfikisha standard 8. Aliuza ng'ombe, sazina maybe akauza shamba. In other instances, mpaka amejiuza.
Exactly.
So now, where is the disconnect?
I'll start by asking the question, how free is the free
education?
Free primary education, how free is it? Do we know that there are people who are dropping, students who are dropping out because it's truly not free? So if we talk of free primary education, if we talk of 100% transition, let it be our responsibility, both as a community, both as a school fraternity and the government. That I had 50 students as a teacher, 25 have transited, 25 have not. Where do the 25 go to? To whom do I draw the attention of these 25 who are yet to join?
Yes.
And what other support is there? So the government has put in place social protection. We go back to ask, how well is it protecting even that young boy? It's given to the elderly, for instance.
Right.
But this is a child who has gotten the best marks but cannot get to school. What are the other protection mechanisms that were put in to support? We have bursaries, yes. Who is auditing to see that those bursaries are going to the right children? Did we know the children who should be receiving even before their plight came out? Why would we wait for a child who's done class 8, that they've passed exams? That's when we are learning that this child will not go to school. But the child was in school from class 1 to class 8, struggling. So we definitely knew the capacity of the child, and we knew, clearly we knew, we saw the mother come to school.
Yes.
We knew that this child will not make it in terms of school fees, but he's the best in our school.
Right.
What are the preparatory mechanisms that need to be put in place? And this is where we are encouraging a lot of commitment and goodwill. We have to be very honest with ourselves. Commitment and goodwill. If you project that to the young people, COVID-19 happened, they stopped their schooling. The research showed some of them stopped schooling. Some of them, they had delayed schooling. Now, if my hope was that I'll qualify a year ago, I've delayed, I have 1 more year to qualify.
Yes.
That is still a cost. There are certain costs you may not quantify.
Yes.
And at the end of that period, you're finishing school, job losses are there,
Yes.
the market is closed. Who focused on alternatives? And that is why for us as ActionAid, we do look at alternatives. What are the talents that these young people have? What are these alternatives? But when we've created the alternatives with the young people, let's go back to the government and say they need an environment.
Okay.
They need policies that are well articulated.
Okay.
They need the funds to reach them. So financing, we have to do financial assistance to the young people. And they need to be the ones at the table making the decisions. This is also where we fail.
Yes.
We talk of young people, but the decisions are not made by them, with them, for them. And what does that mean? That the decisions are against them.
Okay.
We talk of a government. We are talking of access to education and training. If I have capacity, like Msanii Kizito,
Right.
what exists for him to grow? Or must he push himself to get a university degree for him to cultivate his talent? No. It should start in school. It should move out of school. And if he furthers his education, he should find a place where he fits. This is what we are lacking, and this is why we are not dying with the government. Atukufi na government, we are partnering with them, na tunasema environment iwe ile ambayo inaweza ikasaidia the young people.
Okay.
Yes.
Kizito, coming back to you, mental health has been a very big issue for us young guys. We've seen lately lots and lots of people killing themselves, killing their spouses, their partners, their girlfriends or whatever, their boyfriends. And these are young guys. It's not guys in their 50s or 60s. Ni watu kama mimi na wewe. Mtu anachukua daga anadunga demu yake walikuwa kampo pamoja.
Yeah.
Because stress. Saa zingine because ulipata demu yako kuna chali mwingine. Do you think that mentally, perhaps this generation that we are in right now might just be unstable?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's true. And I was waiting for the question that if our young people were depending on the government or the NGOs.
Okay.
But umeleta ya
tujibu hiyo kwanza alafu tutakuja hiyo ya over dependence baadaye.
Hiyo ya kwanza ya kudepend on government or NGOs. Kwanza I want to insist of accountability.
Okay.
If the funding are there, the system are there, the policies are there, and the rights are there, especially the right of education. For instance, there's a student in my county.
Yes.
Alipass vizuri na 400 and something marks. But jua kwa anaweza kuaffordio kwenda shule,
yes.
aliattempt kujiua. The moment aliattempt kujiua, ikapatika mtu akapost kwa WhatsApp group, na hiyo WhatsApp group pia kuna wanasiasa. Ndio sawa unaona mwanasiasa na comment anasema kindly send me her parents contact. So unapata the system is failing because we have the CDF funds zenye zinafaa kusupport the education. Is there mechanism yenye wameweka yenye wanafanya research wajue ndio student ajiwezi na ndio anajiweza na wewe anafaa support. So that's one yenye government pia inatufail.
Okay.
Another thing yenye inafanya tunaona ni kama we are depending on the government because the system are not there to support us in what we are trying to do. This is a young man ama a young person who is a photographer. How is the funds ama zenye zinasetiwa aside kwa Ministry of Culture, Sport and Art supporting this young man? This is an MC, this is an musician.
Yes.
Easy funds za art zinasupportaje watu. So napata there's funds there. And if we are going to depend on some other people or work hard and assume the easy funds za government, then zinaenda kwa mfuko ya mtu. So we need to keep the government accountable at all cost, because if the system is there to do that work, they need to work for us because we are paying the tax.
Who's going to keep the government accountable, my friend Kizito? Because Raila alishatoka opposition na ameingia gava.
So
Boniface Mwangi mlimkataa, mkumpatia kiti huko alikuwa anaitisha starehe. Sasa nani ata keep gava accountable? Because wenye wanaongea pia tunapata wana dedi. Mr. kusema wana madwa but wanapotea tu. Mtu alikuwa na blog kidogo kidogo haumuoni. So nani anafaa ku keep gava?
That's why I think there's power in unity. We need to bring the collective power because most of the time unapata hizi cases that mtu ana lost ama ana disappear because ameongelea mambo ya accountability, unapata mtu maybe ameenda solo. But if we have the collective voices na wakuwe ni watu wenye wana stand pamoja for better for worse, then there will be a long term solution. Okay. Hautakuwa unaitwa kando ati kuja upewe kitu. So it's upon us kama community to keep the government accountable.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nikiongelea about mental health, social media imechangia sana.
Okay.
And there's a lot of pressures. There's a lot pia, especially place county yenye mimi natoka, we have culture beliefs that unapata msichana shafika 19 years ama 20 years. Parents wanamforce aende olewe. So unapata huyu ni mtu anaenda kudate anyone out there because pale pressure imekuwa nyumbani aende olewe. So unapata vitu kama hizi anaenda hapa anapata the wrong person, vitu kama hizo zinatokea. Kitu kingine ni young people, they're setting the standards on social media zenye si reality. Leo unapata nimetoka Isiolo nimekuja Nairobi, nimemeet na best yangu mwenye akona simu kali, napiga picha kama 30. Zingine hapa K24, zingine huko nje kwa hoteli kubwa kubwa. Then hizi picha 30 naziweka tu.
Pole
pole nyumbani. Next week na post moja. Nasema nini next month na post ingine. So unapata ule young person mwenye ananifollow out there, kama maybe mini role model wake ama young person mwenye look upon to, anataka kusetio standard venye mimi naishi. Ajui mimi niliomba simu nikapiga hizi mapicha. So unapata at the end of the day pia social media we really need to see on how we are using it and what someone is sharing.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks Kizito. Tyson, mental health. It's a big issue right now in the 254. People are, you know, it's literally getting out of hand. What do you have to say about it?
I think it has a lot to do with the economic situation in the country, because we are a country, if you go by the 2019 census,
Yes.
our median age as a country is 20 years plus one or so. And these are young people who are from school,
Yes.
like college,
Yes.
with skills, with expectations, very high expectations. And the expectations that after their schooling, they are able to get opportunities to earn an income. But they are transitioning into an economy that is not really ready to receive them or give them an environment where they can be able to exploit their potential. So they become frustrated. Many of our Kenyan youth get frustrated.
Yes.
And it's actually, for me, a ticking time bomb, because we are now experiencing what someone called Thomas Malthus talked of population bulge
Yes.
or the youth bulge.
Yes.
So it's, when we have a very youthful population as our country, it can be a dividend or it can be turned into a disaster. And right now, I think we are really moving towards a disaster.
Yes.
Because we have so many young people who have transitioned from school, but they are getting into the outside world and there are no opportunities for them. So unless we sit down and try and address the issue,
Right.
we are going to have more and more young people experiencing mental health, and it will move into the direction of, you know, very restless. And when they are restless, it means that we are going to even have high levels of crime, stress, depression, and just a system where even the government itself will not be able to manage.
Okay. Let's take a look at WhatsApp as well, because I know, guys, Mengioko, and you want to air your views. Pandemic made life impossible. Auctioneers are killing Kenyans prematurely. Serikali's idea is a valid call because government is the sole custodian of policy in a republic. Government should craft policy to see life on its people and not to make life difficult. Victor from Awendo. Thank you very much, Victor. Aha, huyu ni nani? Anasema, hi K24, youth economy imetuweza. Sahi I can do anything for a living. Usiku niko mkojo kifo, yani watchman. Aha. Mchana niko hustle. Say hi to Tyson Nistano Kericho Nyagacho. We, sasa ukikuwa watchman usiku unalala sangapi, bro? Faraja, the pandemic has really rendered most of us jobless, but I would advise my youth, let's focus on another alternative and use our skills to survive in this environment. I totally agree, Faraja. Last one, huyu anasema nini? When we talk about overdepending, this has been brought by the government failing to carry out some of its primary responsibilities. When you get to the ground, an example, Isiolo County, you will realize that the NGOs are helping to capacity build the locals to go for their rights. Well done, ActionAid, Mwenda Evans in Isiolo County. Susan. You know, at least these people who are texting are people who, you know, are thinking with a sober mind. We have the person who's working as a watchman during the night, and a day he's hustling. Sasa mtu kama huyo, surely, atalala saa ngapi? Atakuwa na wakati gani ya kushughulikia familia if he has, you know, wife and kids, parents, grandparents, social life. He needs to sit down with friends, share, you know, a soda. What time does he have to do that?
I would call it's a struggle for a season. There are certain moments you have to sacrifice, but there are also moments you have to build your resilience. And just talking to the young people as a parent, because I'm a parent.
Yes.
I have young people in my house. There is what we call self-actualization, and there's also what we call failure. But why don't you fail forward? I learned that terminology when I was attending some HR training. That fail forward, meaning your failure should not be the end. Don't commit suicide because you failed. Don't turn into illicit activities because you failed. Just learn from the failures and move forward. And then grab an opportunity. So like the listener who's written that yeye ni watchman usiku, I know that such a listener, such a young person, any opportunity that comes that is better than what he's currently doing, I believe is one person who will go for it. But if you gave up, where will you meet the opportunity? It will not come knocking. Secondly, the other aspect is you're not alone as a young person. What are the other young people doing? And this is why for us, when we get into working with communities, we look for the young people, but we help them to come together. Because Kizito has spoken about collective power. What we are saying here is that I have power, you have power. If we come together, it's more power. And that is what we can use to better our lives. Yeah. So I'm ready to learn from you, and you're ready to learn from me. But as we are in the communities, our main focus should be building capacity of the communities. And that is why through our global platform, it's a center for the young people. It's a place where young people can come and exchange ideas. And now they are connecting digitally. We have our program, the Youth Digital Engagement. It's a global engagement. So when you come, you'll not find Tyson from Kenya. You're able to engage with somebody else from another country.
Abdullah from Saudi Arabia.
Or even Somaliland. And then you even realize you could be better off in that your environment, yes, it's COVID, but right now we have people who are having COVID, political tension, climate change issues, you know, floods, and COVID is still there.
Okay.
So it's move out and get to those opportunities.
Kizito, ukiangalia, you know, some of these areas, let me just talk about Nairobi because at least I work here and sometimes live here. If you go to areas such as Kibera, for instance, Kenda Kawangware, utapata roadblocks usiku sababu ya curfew. Sindio? Ukitembea sehemu kama Mathare, you'll find roadblocks. Cops waiting for guys who are breaking curfew protocols so they can arrest you, wakupeleke ndani, wakusumbue. But when you drive into places like Karen, you will not find a single roadblock. Muthaiga, hata utaona Karao. You know, when you're driving to Kitusuru, hautaona polisi hata mmoja. Loresho, I don't even think they have a police station. Do you think that perhaps the poor people are being targeted, for lack of a better word? Because why should we have a roadblock in Kawangware but zero in Muthaiga?
And that's why bado tunarudi pale kwa policy. These people are making policy that they don't apply. Wanatengeneza policy kwa hospitali zenye hawapati matibabu kwa hizo hospitali. Wakigonjeka, familia yao ikigonjeka, ndege inabukiwa wanaenda kutibiwa majuu. Hata campaign inakuja. Hebu niambie kama politician anaenda campaign Runda. Hakuna, watakuja ghetto. So I think it's time we wake up as a nation, and also as people who are pushing themselves out there. Those who are in the slums or niseme mwananchi wa kawaida mwenye analipa ushuru. We wake up and come up with long-term solutions. Because these people, they are bringing like a short-term or immediate solutions, but we really need a long-term solution.
All right. That's a nice parting shot. Tyson, I'll give you the same opportunity as we close the program. What are your parting shots to the young people, especially in these trying times that we live in?
Mine is to just call upon the youth of this country to step up. The politicians out there have their interest, and the young people of this country also need to have their interest and push for their interest to be factored into the politicians' interest.
All right, thank you very much. Susan, tufungie juu ndio mama yetu hapa leo.
And I want to speak to the
Please, you want to talk to the camera?
Yes.
Angalia kamera, uiangalie hapo katikati
Katikati.
Na watu hapo.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm speaking to Kenyans, my fellow Kenyans. The youth pandemic is a national concern for you and I, where the organizations as ActionAid that have come out to boldly work with the young people to improve their lives and also work with them and the communities. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to volunteer. You have an opportunity to support. Many a times we talk about young people, but there's little that we do from our end. We are giving that opportunity to you as a Kenyan. How can you volunteer? How can you join in? I know our anchor would say, no, I'm in the office from 8 to 5. Many people will say we are in the office 8 to 5. But what is it that you can do? You could give to a community program that supports the young people. And as you give, you demand accountability. Therefore, the question is, where are you investing your support to the community? It can be in kind, it can be funds.
Okay.
And as an organization, we are accountable. We are a national organization registered here in Kenya, affiliated to a global federation of around 45 countries.
Wow.
So accountability is high for us. We have a national board. You can hold us accountable. And we are saying we are giving this opportunity to Kenyans.
Yes.
We are not, as we said, we will not rely on foreign funds, you know, donor funding forever. We have an opportunity as Kenya to activate what we have locally, to activate individually. When you come in as one, other people will add in. Activate as an individual,
Yes.
join the masses. Let's put together our resources, financial and in kind, and support the young people. When the young people are at rest, we will be at rest.
How can we find you in case we want to partner with you as volunteers and maybe otherwise?
Yes, we have our website, ActionAid, www.actionaid.org, and you could select Kenya. You will find us there. You can come to our offices. We are at in Westlands, right opposite Safaricom. We call it Safaricom Twin Towers, All Africa Conference of Churches. And in the counties, we are in around 14 counties.
Wow.
Ideally for you, if you're in the counties, just to probably go to the county headquarters and ask, the social services, where is ActionAid? They know ActionAid, they engage with us.
Okay.
And you will find us.
Thank you very much, Tyson, Susan, and Kizito as well. This is where we come to a close as far as our conversation for today is concerned. We shall see you tomorrow bright and early as far as Thursday is concerned. And being Relationship Thursday, tomorrow we are talking about soul ties. Kwa hivyo kama umekuwa ukiingia kwa shimo zote, kesho tafadhali ningependa kuongea na wewe. Don't go too far. K24 has got more to offer. But until that time, it's been real.